Good morning and Jai Hind children. This is the third video from the chapter Transformation of Sentences. I have already shared two videos with you earlier. In the first two videos, I covered changing from exclamatory sentence to declarative, changing from declarative sentences to interrogative, and I also covered changing from imperative to interrogative. So till now you've understood the first three parts of the chapter, and you've also done exercise A and exercise B. Now I'm going to come to page number 12 of your chapter, which is about changing from affirmative sentences to negative sentences. Okay, so first, before I tell you what is affirmative, how to change from affirmative to negative, I first have to make you understand what is affirmative and what is negative. All right, affirmative is similar to an assertive sentence or a declarative sentence. Now please go back, try to think about what I explained to you when I was doing sentences, when I was doing kinds of sentences. That time I told you that there are four kinds of sentence: declarative, imperative, exclamatory and interrogative. And I also told you that declarative sentences are also known as assertive sentences. Okay, declarative and assertive are the same thing. Now, affirmative, what is affirmative? Affirmative is positive sentences. Sentences where we don't use the word no or not, which is positive, which always has a yes answer to it, is called affirmative. Negative is always sentences where you use a no or not. Let us learn how to change from affirmative to negative, and then you will be able to understand this even better. So there are two ways to change from affirmative to negative. Let us see what are the two ways. First way is changing the meaning, where if you change the sentence, the meaning of the sentence will get changed. Other way is without changing the meaning. So you can also change an affirmative sentence into a negative sentence without changing the meaning, where the meaning of your sentence will stay the same. Now I will tell you how this will happen. Let us first understand the first part, that is by changing the meaning, how can you change affirmative to negative sentences. Let's see the first example. So my sentence here is he is a good boy. Okay, so I'm talking about a boy, and what am I saying? That he is a good boy. This is an affirmative sentence because it is positive. I'm not using the word no or not over here. And now what do I want you to do? I want you to change this sentence into a negative sentence. Now I told you negative sentences are those where you use the word no or not. So no or not has to be used in the sentence to make it negative. So what will we do? We will say he is not a good boy. Right. So because I told you negative sentence are those where you use the word no or not. And when I'm saying he is a good boy, here no or not is not used over here. So we will simply add not. We will say he is not a good boy. Okay. So now when I change he is a good boy to he is not a good boy, see the meaning is changing. Right. If I point towards a boy and I say he is a good boy, that means he is good. He is a nice boy. But now when I change my sentence, I say he is not a good boy. That means I am not appreciating the boy. He is not a nice boy. So the meaning is completely changing when I change my sentence like this. Okay. We look at one more example. She is comfortable. Okay. Comfortable means somebody who is comfortable wherever you're sitting or whatever you're doing. So again, not is not used over here, but in negative you have to use not. So you will write she is not comfortable. Okay. Now again, see, the meaning of she is comfortable and she is not comfortable is very different. If you say she is comfortable, it is a good thing. If you say she is not comfortable, it is not a good thing. Okay. So again over here, when you're changing from affirmative to negative, the meaning of your sentence is changing. Alright. Now I told you that affirmative to negative can be done in two ways. It can be changing the meaning, it can be not changing the meaning. So changing the meaning, I've taught you how to do it. Now I will teach you how will you change affirmative to negative, keeping the meaning same. So meaning should not be changed. Okay. I'll take the same example here. He is a good boy. See, now again I have the same sentence. He is a good boy. But now when I want you to change into negative, I want you to not change the meaning of the sentence. I want to keep the meaning of the sentence same. So how will I do it? We can follow a very nice trick over here. We will say he is not a bad boy. Did you understand? So because I told you in negative sentence the word no or not has to be used. So I have used not over here, not a bad boy. And because I want to keep the meaning same, I have used the opposite of good. I have said he is not a bad boy. So if he is not a bad boy, what does this mean? That he's a good boy, right? He's a nice boy. So the meaning also stays the same and the sentence has changed into negative. I hope it is clear to you. So see, the rule is that in a negative you have to use not, and when you don't want to change the meaning you will use the opposite of the adjective. So the adjective is good, right? So you use the opposite of that. You use bad. He is not a bad boy, because now it means that he is a good boy. Now see the difference between the first one and this one. In the first one I did he is not a good boy. I am changing into negative, so my transformation is okay, but my meaning of the sentence is changing. The meaning is becoming that he is not a good boy. Because I want to not change the meaning, I will change the adjective into its opposite and I will write he is not a bad boy. Okay. If you want to listen to this again, you can replay your video and watch this again to have clarity in your concept. I'll go to the next example now. She is comfortable. Now over here, the first one, changing the meaning. She is comfortable. I made it she is not comfortable. So the meaning got changed. Now I told you I want to keep the same meaning. Now think about the rule I just taught you, that you will use the word not and you will use opposite of the adjective. So what is the adjective? She is comfortable. What is the adjective here? Very good. Adjective is comfortable. Okay. You have to use the opposite of this word. So opposite of comfortable is uncomfortable. Okay, uncomfortable is the opposite. So I will say she is not uncomfortable. Okay, if she is not uncomfortable, that means she is comfortable. So my meaning of the sentence stays the same. Alright, did you understand? So in your book, the exercise that you have that asks you to change affirmative sentence to negative, keeping the meaning same. So you don't have to change the meaning. So you will follow the second one without changing the meaning. You will follow this rule. Okay, with changing the meaning, I know it is more easy, but that's not the right way. We will do without changing the meaning. Okay, actually you can do both ways. You have to see what the question is asking you to do. In your book, question is asking you to not change the meaning. Alright, I hope this explanation is clear. Children, again and again I tell you the same thing. If you're not able to follow in one go, please replay the video again. Pause and see the video. That will help you to understand the topic. Let's move on to what we have next. So I've taken this table from your book. It is on page number 12 of your book. So what does this say? This says an affirmative sentence can be changed into a negative sentence without changing its meaning. So this I already taught you, that affirmative to negative you can change and you can also keep the meaning same at the same time. So let's see how can we do it. There are some examples given over here. It says using not plus prefixes. Okay, prefix, you know what is a prefix? I hope you've done prefix and suffix. Yeah, prefix is when you add 2 or 3 alphabets to the main word and the meaning changes. That is prefix. And when you add 2 or 3 alphabets to the main verb at the end of it is called suffix. Okay, so the first one over here, he is honest. Can you see the first one is written he is honest. Now what am I making it? He is not dishonest. What did I use? I used not plus I added a prefix to honest. I made it dishonest. So I used the opposite of the word honest. Opposite is dishonest and I used not. Okay. Next one, she is comfortable. She is not uncomfortable. Uncomfortable, see, UN is the prefix to comfortable. This is clear to you, I guess. Then in some cases you have to add suffixes. Let's see what is that. It was thoughtless of you to say so. What have I changed it to? It was not thoughtful of you to say so. So because in negative you have to use not, that is why not is used over here. And over here, thoughtless, opposite of thoughtless is thoughtful. Thoughtless is when you don't think about it too much. Thoughtful is when you carefully think about what you're going to do. Okay, so that is why thoughtless has been changed to thoughtful. Suffix has been changed, that means it has become opposite. Clear? She is clueless about how to do the work. She is clueless means she has no idea how to do the work. So how has this been changed? She has no clue about how to do the work. She has no clue. Did you understand? See, no is used over here. So no makes it negative. I told you no or not has to be there to make it negative. And clueless was the suffix. Less was the suffix over there. We have removed less. We have used the opposite of it. That is how you are going to change this. Next one, it says using not plus opposite words. He is a good boy, he is not a bad boy. So not I have used, plus opposite of good is bad. I have already done this with you. Next one is the dress is cheap. This dress is not expensive. So opposite of cheap is expensive. So you will use not plus you will use the opposite of the adjective. So that will become this dress is not expensive. It is not expensive means it is sasta. It is cheap. Okay. So that is how you have to understand. You have to understand the opposite of the word. Alright. Next one. You can also use no one, nothing, nowhere. Let's see how we do this. Okay. Everyone found the play interesting. Now this is a new one. You have to carefully understand this one. Okay. It says everyone found the play interesting. That means there was a play that was going on and everybody in the audience, they really found the play interesting. So now I have to change it into negative, but I don't have to change the meaning of my sentence. So how will I do it? I will write no one found the play uninteresting. Did you understand? So when I use no one instead of everyone, I am making it negative. And because I am using uninteresting in place of interesting, the meaning stays the same because I have used the opposite of the adjective. See, everyone found the play interesting. Ask yourself, what is the adjective over here? Adjective is interesting. So I have to use the opposite of the adjective so that the meaning does not change. Alright. That is why I have used uninteresting. So everyone found the play interesting. No one found the play uninteresting. If no one found the play uninteresting, what does that mean? That everybody found it interesting. So I have used a negative word and I have also kept the meaning of my sentence the same. Alright. Next one. This is the only thing I want. Okay, so there is only one thing that you want. How will you change this? I want nothing but this thing. Okay, nothing. See, no is over here in nothing. That makes it negative. I want nothing but this thing. Means I don't want anything else, but I want this one thing. So that is why nothing makes the sentence negative, and because I'm saying but this thing, it also keeps the meaning same. I want nothing but this thing. That means I want nothing else. I only want this one thing. Clear? If you cannot understand, replay, go back, pause and listen again. That will help. Next one. Changing always to never. Always becomes never. Let's see how will we do this. There is always scope for you to make amends. That means there is always a chance that you can make the correction. You can do something right. How will I change this into negative? It is never too late for you to make amends. It is never. So the word never makes it negative. Always, the opposite of the word always is never. Okay? Never makes it negative. It is never too late for you to make amends. That means it is never too late. बोलते हैं ना कभी भी देर नहीं होती है कोई काम करने को. So exactly like that, it is never too late for you to make amends. That means you can always make correction. You can always do the right thing. It is never too late. You always have time. You always have opportunity to do that. See, over here I have used the word never to make it a negative sentence. However, the meaning of the sentence stays the same. Okay. Next one. This is the last rule over here. Changing to is TOO to so that. So if we have the word TOO in an affirmative sentence and we want to make it into a negative sentence, we will use so that. Let's see how to do that. The crash victim was too weak to walk. That means crash victim, that means somebody who met with a car crash who had a car accident. Victim is the person who got hurt in the accident. So crash victim means the person who got hurt in a car accident. Alright. The crash victim was too weak to walk. So the victim, the person who got hurt in the car crash or the car accident, was too weak to walk. He was so weak that he could not walk. Alright, so how will we change this? I just said it right now. The crash victim was so weak that he could not walk. Again, remember I told you no or not has to be used when you want to make it into a negative sentence. Because I have to use the word not, I am going to use the phrase so that. I have written the crash victim was so weak that he could not walk. Okay, he could not walk. Did you understand? Not is coming in, and what are we adding for that? So that. This is the rule. So whenever you have TOO2, you will change it to so that, and you will also use not together with it. These are all your rules for affirmative to negative. I hope I have explained it to you in a way that you will be able to understand. If you are feeling stuck in any part, please pause the video, go back and listen to the explanation once again. I think you will be able to follow after that. After you're done with understanding this portion from the book, there is an exercise in your book which is on page number 13. This is exercise C. This is also to be done in your notebook, but for now I want you to do it in your rough notebook, okay? Because you're doing it in the first time and you might get some answers wrong, so you will do in the rough notebook. Once I discuss the answers with you on your Zoom class, then you will be able to do this in your English 1 copy. So now, what does this question say? It says, change these sentences into negative sentences without changing the meaning. Give me one moment. Yes. So this is on page 13. It says, change these sentences into negative sentences without changing their meaning. Alright. So you have to keep the meaning same. What do you have to do when you have to keep the meaning same? You have to use the word not or no, and you have to use the opposite of the adjective. The first one, I already discussed this with you. He is honest. So what is the opposite of honest? Dishonest. Very good. And you have to use not. So you will say he is not dishonest. This is the way I want you to do all the 12 sentences in your rough notebook. Be very careful. Don't do it in your English 1 copy right now. Just do the answers in your rough notebook. Alright, that is all. I hope you are able to follow till here. We will meet again in the next class. In the next video session, I'm going to explain the last part of this chapter to you. Thank you.